And you're welcome to Joy News Prime. Coming up tonight, Finance Minister says government's transformation agenda to mitigate the effect of COVID-19 pandemic is still on as he presents the mid-year budget review to Parliament today.
Speaker, I stand before this august House today to assure the nation that our transformation is very much on course.
He argues government has not found the need to ask for more money or taxes because of the efficient management of the economy.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come to ask for more taxes.
The minority, however, says, contrary to the minister's claim, the economy is at a standstill.
No boards in place, no chief executives in place, no DCs in place. What will you ask for more money for? What will you ask for more money for, Mr. Speaker?
Also in this package, Elmina fishermen reject bags of rice and gallons of oil donated by the Fisheries Minister, Hawa Kumsin, over her decision to strictly enforce the ban on light fishing. And later, Joy Clean Ghana campaign task force moves in on operators of public toilets using pan latrines, as it says that has been banned since 2010.
Inside, because the fan is on. Who was inside?
I don't know. I say,
Master, if you don't tell the truth, we'll arrest you right now.
I say, here now I hear that they have broken this, and I know that the TV day inside. So I'm coming to remove it.
Also here on Joy News Prime, the Finance Minister is urging all Ghanaians who are willing to contribute 100 Ghana cedis a month towards the National Cathedral. He says should be inaugurated on the 6th of March 2024.
To give as many Ghanaians as possible the opportunity to be part of the history to build the National Cathedral. The aim of the club is to raise 1 million Ghanaians who will give 100 cedis a month for the construction of the National Cathedral.
We've been out there asking Ghanaians if they're willing to contribute.
I'm not going to pay. Why should I pay this? Because with all that we are going through, look at how our businesses are falling. And you want us to pay for cathedral for what?
No, I don't think it's necessary because there are a lot of auditoriums in Ghana here, which I think we can use some of it to do those church activities.
My name is Ernest Mino, and Joy News Prime is coming to you live from our studios here at Fanofa at Kukumlemle here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV. Because we are free to air, we are also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV 144. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Many thanks for joining us wherever you are. We start from Elmina. Fishermen there have rejected food items provided by the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Hawa Kumsin. Now, the minister was in the central region to distribute outboard motors and other food items to some of the fisher folk, but the fishermen rejected the food items, saying it came too late and that the minister came to warn them to stop using lights for fishing. Light fishing is the process of fishing to attract fish by hooking, gill net, or by any other gear. Now, fisheries experts say the practice is inimical to the growth of the fishing industry, but the fishermen at Elmina insist it remains the one sure way of surviving in the fishing business. They are therefore of the view that the law should be enforced by the minister. The law being enforced by the minister will deprive them of their livelihoods. So those are the fishermen reacting to the donation. Now the fishermen have been justifying why they rejected the bags of rice and gallons of oil given them by the Fisheries Minister. Listen.
This is the fishing community of Elmina. In fact, it is one of the largest fishing communities in Ghana. In terms of the fishing industry, the practice here is very vibrant, and you cannot talk about fishing without talking about Elmina. But something remarkable happened. The Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mavis Hawa Kumsin, came to the central region, started distributing outboard motors to fisher folk. In fact, these are outboard motors that the fishermen have actually paid for. So after that, she decided to come to Elmina to share some bags of rice and cooking oil.
The man was a conuntum solve a problem in the nature. And here, you want to be a sebed. Yadi, Eben, I say, Yegman and Intimian call. Yegman so both two sides. You were petroleers are no deny friends. I go. And they begin and come out some. Na batan so to maybe na makodu na yeden insanokol enwa hanti ntum nka de binum nka we adwuma no wundi de na yeden no on block na enfa mu ketekete enfa madada yen mana me di nda hen.
So this gentleman is telling me that they rejected the bags of rice and the cooking oil basically because the season was closed, and then they expected that if the minister had something to give them, she would have given them from day one. The minister does not have to wait till they are left with 4 days to the opening of the season, and then the minister comes in to give them these bags of rice. He is indicating that these days the fishermen that are there, they are sophisticated. They are not like the fishermen of old, where they could easily come and then deceive them with bags of rice and other items like that. And so on the basis of that, they rejected. Now let's come to the light fishing. The light fishing, we all know that it is against the fishing practices here. Why is it that the minister spoke about it and then she's seeking to enforce it, and you people are angry and you booed and jeered her?
The way you go on the American them light fishing no one answer catch free no better hand. No, so free I the years so. I don't make a what's a maybe about fun technology. But this time we go back way do upon no and Kebe I want my room and can share so be also a light. This no the disadvantage of woman no onje ma no friend yin afro dom no nyensha no ncheche because mo yen tase
wo market sama fam no odi kan mutumu the minister no the ma do yen no insult or your insult very insult or your agrobeshame at na many na this is in there a close apple waka just 5 days ima we buy apple no was aba na aka face when the play bi there one day enwa so on petitil no ma ebufu.
So essentially what this man is saying is that the rice and then the gallons of oil that were brought by the fisheries minister, it was just like an insult. In fact, you close the season and then 4 days, 5 days to the opening of the season, and then you bring them the rice. Why are you bringing them the rice when they have endured all the difficulties and then the hardships?
I'm watching this, or Bibia, and by Bibia and Tamala are to Punumun, no bear. Yeah, 2 days. No, but my client, because I already know on to Auto Punam, and did that. Yet you're a psycho, and no more about watching what you're going to him. Yama bear 10. The jumper, Obi and Obi who, Obi, who was psycho, what the soft words in white and will too good soon. If you saw what what pumping machine, what pumping, Manamia, good soon. Now, what I import the dema, or what my bedema, like a man to the corner.
Okay, so Anthony Kobna is just saying that the minister's threats and warning to enforce the law does not sit well with them. In fact, they feel that the minister should have tagged on cycle because the cycle that is destroying the fisheries resources in there. Now the minister comes here and then issues threats that should they go fishing with lights, she's going to ensure that the Navy will chase them there.
No, I could better 2 days, 3 days. Never kade. Trading boat is once a pair, 1 year. Light if you see Amonibua, Mo use them away. Tenga from use them away. Come on, who can Emma? and put the name different. And what number no? So I found my banner. I say petrol. Here next in New York, 2 days in New York, a Jamuda bede. When you want to know, not Benabu. Also, Fanyamo good came. No, if you're not the Benu, about one more Chamon.
Is also saying that they rejected the food basically because the food did not come in time, and then the minister just came to give them instructions what they should not do, and should they go against the fisheries laws, she's going to use the Navy on them. In fact, it did not sit well with them at all. In fact, if you go to Mori, even though the fisheries minister has not gone there, they've had indication that the bags of rice and then the gallons of oil have been placed elsewhere, and the minister intends going there to share these things with them. They have been protesting. In fact, today they organized some kind of a press conference to brief the media, to tell them that the minister should not step foot there to go and distribute the bags of rice and then the gallons of oil, because the close season is almost over. If the minister has something, she should come and tell them, and not to be issuing threats against them, telling them that she will use the Navy to chase them when they go fishing. So this is Elmina. And from the coastal community of Elmina, my name is Richard Kwejenyakon for Joy News.
And we've reached out to the Fisheries Minister, Mavis Howard-Kumsin. Once we will bring you her response later here on Joy News Prime. You want to stay for that. From Elmina, let's come to the capital. And the Finance Minister, Kenneth Ofori-Atta, says the country's transformation agenda to mitigate the dire effect of COVID-19 pandemic on the economy is still on, presenting the 2021 mid-year budget review to the House. Now, Mr. Ofori-Atta noted the exchange rate, inflation rate, and foreign direct investment have been stable amidst the pandemic. These successes, chalked, he said, reveal that the government is managing the finances of the country with discipline and competence. He added that he will stay within the limits of the appropriation approved in March for the 2021 year budget and will not have to come to Parliament to ask for more money.
Mr. Speaker, I stand before this august House today to assure the nation that our transformation agenda is very much on course. However, with COVID-19 still with us, it is important to stress that the recovery is only the beginning, a beginning that requires our collective sense of responsibility and action as citizens to guide, protect, and participate in the recovery efforts. Mr. Speaker, this mid-year fiscal policy review that I'm presenting does not come with a supplementary budget, and our revised fiscal framework for 2021 is kept within the fiscal target of 9.5% of GDP. We are staying within the 2021 appropriation. Respectful Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come. Mr. Speaker, I'm not here today to ask for more money. I have not come to ask for more taxes. I have come to update the House on the performance of the economy for the first half year of 2021 and our plans for the unexpired term of the year, consistent with Section 28 of the PFM Act.
The Finance Minister told the MPs that the shape of the economy as it is today is better than what pertained in 2016. He indicated that the economic indicators are much better than what the previous NDC government achieved.
We are managing the finances of the country with discipline and competence. The fiscal operations for the period January to June 2021 indicate that the overall deficit was 22.32 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to 5.1% of GDP. The corresponding primary balance for the period was a deficit of 7.3 billion cedis, equivalent to 1.7% of GDP, against a target of 4.8 billion Ghana cedis, or 1.1% of GDP. We will continue to pursue our fiscal consolidation agenda to ensure that we remain within the appropriation given by this august House. Mr. Speaker, I would like to note that notwithstanding our elevated debt levels as a result of COVID-19, our inflation rate is lower than it was in 2016. Our interest rates are lower than they were in 2016. Our exchange rate is more stable than it was in 2016. Our foreign exchange reserves are much higher than they were in 2016. And we did not have to lay off any workers, nor cancel teacher and nursing training allowances. Furthermore, we did not go to the IMF for a bailout program, neither have we built an interchange for the price of 3. This is because we have managed the economy much better than it was managed up to 2016. Let us, Mr. Speaker, not forget that.
The minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu, says the finance minister had no business asking for more money because the country is currently at a standstill due to the president's delay in making major appointments. The majority leader, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, however, says this is an indication that the economy is on track.
Not here to ask for money, because you don't drink water from an empty calabash. So we can understand why he's not here to ask for money. No boards in place, no chief executives in place, no DCs in place. What will you ask for more money for? What will you ask for more money for, Mr. Speaker? But, Mr. Speaker, I only remind him that as for farmers who want fertilizer, it's seasonal. If you don't give them their fertilizer now, you lose the opportunity. So, Mr. Speaker, the tie is not in a haste for a dance that ensues the day. We will stand adjourned if that is the wish of the leader, so that tomorrow to Monday, we will comment and debate thoroughly on it. I'm very convinced that the minister's hope and the hope of the president now is debt relief and debt forgiveness. That's their hope to rescue this economy. If there is debt relief and debt forgiveness is his only hope.
The minister is telling you that we are staying on track. Nothing extraneous is being done outside the remit of the budget that was presented. We can't comment within the context of that framework. Mr. Speaker, everybody is ready. We are equally ready and perhaps over ready. Even today, I believe that you guys will be saying that, oh, we are bereft of copies of the media review. Even if you want us to start today, you can open the floodgates. And I dare you to move the motion that let us start today. We are ever ready, like ever ready battery.
Because the debate has already started, the MPs have been reacting to the media budget presentation outside of the chamber. We'll hear from the minority leader, the deputy minority leader, James Klucha-Aveji, and the chairman of the Finance Committee, Kweku Kwatin. They've been speaking to Joy News.
Revenues programmed for interventions that government intended to do before COVID came. At the time that you needed to borrow this to fill the gap, you also had additional responsibility to find additional money to contain expenditure that you had not even anticipated at the time you read the 2020 budget. The only remedy, as it has been for every single country across the world, was for the minister to borrow more. And that is why we have seen the rise in public debt. But when I look at the deficit figures for the first half of the year, and I see the government's management of the debt, I am clear that government is very sensitive to what has been happening, and that going forward, we're going to see a much slower debt accumulation. But for COVID, I am sure we will not be looking at these figures. And we should even put this in perspective. what has been the debt figures recorded across the globe? Across the globe, what has been the debt figures? And let's see whether Ghana's debt management performance has been good or has not been good. But I think I leave you with this. I see my brother here is going to speak to you. I leave you with this. For government to come and say they are not taking additional money, they are not imposing additional taxes, and yet all the major social intervention programs, the free SHS, planting for food and jobs, allowances to trainees, and all those many social interventions have been preserved, Ghanaians cannot have had a better day today, and we're grateful to government for that.
No, I am not impressed at all. In fact, this is not the first time that media review is done without asking for supplementary budget. This is not the first time. So my colleagues should not portray as if it's a novelty. This is not the first time. It's a media review. It's a requirement of the Public Financial Management Act that in July of each year, come and tell Ghanaians that the budget that I want to execute in the course of the year, this is how I have executed that budget so far. Am I on track? Am I off track? That should be the issue. So the issue for, I'm not asking for additional funding or additional expenditure, so I'm doing well, that is not the issue. And I'm surprised that my colleague, Koku Kwatin, is not comparing debt level with what is happening in other areas. What happened? Suddenly they have changed from comparing debt accumulated in Ghana over the years by previous government, previous presidents. Now, they know that they have lost the debate in that angle, and for that matter, they want to compare it with other Togo, Nigeria, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, or whatever. I'm surprised. So I am not impressed at all. The city now, it's more than 6 cities. You know that? It used to be 5 something. Now it's 6 cities. So how stable is that? It is not stable. If you want to buy $1 now, you need 6 Ghana cedis, 30 pesos, to be able to buy $1. So the rate is not stable. City is not strong. It's not strong. He should not be coming to tell us everything that we should accept it. Please, Ghanaians, the city is not strong.
Now, let me ask you a question. Are you willing to donate some amount of money to help finish the National Cathedral? Well, I'll take your response to that shortly. But the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, today revealed that the ongoing construction of the National Cathedral will be open to the general public on Wednesday, March 6, 2024. The minister said a date on which Ghana marks its 67th Independence Day will be used to officially commission the interdenomination sacred space for the nation, while reiterating that government's commitment to prioritize the project. The Finance Minister said work on the National Cathedral is progressing speedily.
Work on the National Cathedral is progressing speedily, and following the program of the contractors, and with God helping us, the National Cathedral is expected to be officially commissioned on March 6, 2024. Upon completion, the National Cathedral will provide a sacred space for formal religious activities of state and symbolize the enormous contribution of faith to nation building. Mr. Speaker, this state and church partnership envisaged by the President to develop the National Cathedral is on course.
And Ofori-Atta says next month, work will begin on the establishment of a club of 1 million Ghanaians who will donate 100 cedis every month for the construction of the National Cathedral. He says the work of the club, which is being established by the trustees of the Cathedral project, will ensure that the cathedral is ready by August 2024.
An initiative, the 100 cedis a month club, also dubbed Ketua Biara Nswa, will be launched by the trustees of the National Cathedral on August 12, 2021, to give as many Ghanaians as possible the opportunity to be part of the history to build the National Cathedral. The aim of the club is to raise 1 million Ghanaians who will give 100 cedis a month for the construction of the National Cathedral. A special short code 979 has been developed for this purpose. We look forward to Mr. Speaker and all the members of this august house joining the 100 cedis a month club.
And so the trustees will begin that project actually by August 2021. That is when that project will be ready so that you can send in your donations. You have the finance minister elaborate on that. But the question is, are you ready to donate? We've been engaging some of you on the streets of Accra.
I'm not going to pay. Why should I pay this? Because with all that we are going through, look at how our businesses are falling. And you want us to pay for cathedral for what? And who is going to be there to be serviced or to be worshipped?
No, I'm not willing, and I don't think I will pay. If should government go around to be asking citizens to pay or contribute to the building of the National Cathedral, I don't think it's right. I think if the government, he has taken the initiative to build it, he has to do it. But for the citizens to contribute to it, I don't think it's right.
Oh no, I will not pay. I will not pay because we have a lot of church buildings in this country. And me too, I have the church that I attend. So I don't see the need to contribute to build another church.
If building the cathedral will help the cause for people to worship their maker, I don't mind helping pay for the cathedral.
No, I don't think it's necessary because there are a lot of auditoriums in Ghana here, which I think we can use some of it to do those church activities. There's no need for us to do any cathedral.
Me, dear, I don't know. I can't. Because there's nothing that I can pay off. Because if you give me something, then you return it. So it's a payback. But you haven't given me anything. Me rather is voting for you than paying you them the same time. So what country are we now?
So there are more reactions to this. The question was put to the Member of Parliament, Darkwan Newman. That's the Member of Parliament for Okankwe South, Darkwan Newman, about the project. And he said other projects cannot come to a standstill because of difficult times.
Understand that things are very, very difficult, but the world doesn't come to a stop because things are difficult. We still press forward, we still move on. It's a project that the government is undertaking, and we all believe that whatever project has started must continue and it must finish. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We are pressing forward, be it the cathedral, be it Agenda 111, everything is on track. And we hope that all these projects will be completed so that the economy is vibrant, so that there's shared prosperity for us all.
Now, let me return to our earlier story, our top story for today. The fishermen of Elmina rejecting bags of rice and oil presented to them by the Fisheries Minister. Again, they're saying that her insistence on banning light fishing will be inimical to their development and, of course, to their survival. Well, the minister has been reacting to these concerns, explaining why it is necessary to ban light fishing.
We say we are not going to allow them. If they should do it, we're going to use the law. We will enforce the law on them. And I believe they've also come to realize that we are season that we've had and the measures we're going to put in place. We've already discussed with the fishers that we are not here to allow them to do all the illegal methods of fishing. That is dynamite, DDT, light fishing, psycho, and all of them. We say we are not going to allow them. If they should do it, we're going to use the law. We will enforce the law on them. And I believe they've also come to realize that we are very serious this time around. Because it's one of the reasons why, or some of the reasons why, the EU nearly issued Ghana with the yellow card. And so we're not going to sit down for them to do those things on the sea. The Marine Enforcement Unit will be around to make sure that they are monitoring them. We're also getting some equipment to monitor them. That is when they come from the sea. We'll go and then test the fish to detect whether there is a chemical in the fish or not. If there is any chemical, then you'll be arrested. We've also told them that these are the measures we are taking.
So that is the minister's response there. But as you're learning, there's more reaction, there's more controversy. It is brewing. And of course, Johnny's on the ground will bring you more on this subsequently here on the Johnny's channel. You're watching Johnny's Prime with me, Ernest Min. We're taking a short break, but still to come here, Joy Clean Ghana campaign task force moves in on operators of public toilets using pan latrines, which has been banned since 2010.
Who was inside? Because the fan is on. Who was inside?
I don't know. I say,
Master, if you don't tell the truth, we'll arrest you right now.
I say, be here now. I hear that they have broken this, and I know that the TV day inside. So I'm coming to remove it.
We have details of this, plus the latest in business and showbiz after this break. Stay with us.
Hello everyone, it's time for business. Now, government has officially announced ambitious initiatives targeted at youth-led businesses in the country. Now, in his presentation of the mid-year budget review in Parliament, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, says 1 million jobs initiative has been set in motion with the aim of promoting the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises, as well as support budding entrepreneurs in the country to create jobs for the teeming unemployed youth.
Our intention of building an entrepreneurial nation is already known. We aim to empower our youth to be at ease and venture into businesses. The cleanup of the financial sector and the invigoration of the entrepreneurial ecosystem is expected to help remove the binding constraints of financing and market linkages for our daring youth. Our focus will remain on establishing a strong value system for entrepreneurship to flourish. Mr. Speaker, recognizing that more needs to be done, government is today announcing a 1 million jobs initiatives to aggressively respond to the needs of the country. This is to promote growth in SMEs, support new ventures, and stimulate innovation and startups.
Meanwhile, the Finance Minister has also hinted of plans to establish what he describes as a youth bank. According to him, this will provide financial support and solutions to start-up businesses in the country.
The Enterprise and Youth Support Fund, which aligns with government's overall strategy of developing a competitive and viable private sector economy, will set up a youth bank with the aim of financing youth-led startup businesses across the country. As part of this initiative, an online investment hub will be established for youth across the country to access information for the purpose of establishing businesses. It is estimated over 100,000 jobs will be created through this. Mr. Speaker, the Venture Fund Trust, which is being revamped to be better positioned to carry out the designated activities, also as a fund manager.
Well, so how are entrepreneurs reacting to this? I watched a presentation with a young entrepreneur, Nana Ama Enchidakwa, and I've come through this report. Nana Ama Enchidakwa is a young entrepreneur who's been in the cosmetic industry since 2016. Her business has been on life support since the coronavirus disrupted her supply chain.
It's tough, you know, but yeah, you have to keep going because I suppose every business goes through that stage.
In the global financial architecture to support it.
As we watched the mid-year estimate presentation live on our phones, I wondered if the interventions announced, including the establishment of a youth bank, resonates with her. We listened with rapt attention as the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta announced a 1 million jobs initiative to deal with Ghana's unemployment crisis.
We are also revitalizing the skills development initiatives and the Ghana Enterprises Agency.
We've been watching the Finance Minister for quite some time now. Does most of the things he's saying relate to you as an entrepreneur?
Kind of. Well, they're giving funding to SMEs, and I am an SME, so definitely yes. I am part of. I fall in that category. Yeah.
Of course, when they say that some injections have been made into the SME sector through the Ghana Cares program to revamp, collapsed businesses, how do you respond to that as an SME? Because all too soon we've seen your production house shut down due to COVID-19, and you're now listening to this particular line from the Finance Minister.
Yes. Well, I've heard that there's money coming in, but the previous one was a loan, so I don't really get that, because if the person is not producing, I don't see how you give them a loan, because they're not even making sales.
As she counts her losses and hopes for a big comeback, Nana's wish is for the budget presentation not to be a talk shop, but an actual lifesaver for her business and that of other young entrepreneurs. The key message out of the media budget estimate has got to do with the financing of businesses through the Youth Bank, which is support about 1 million jobs and create more revenue for young people. But for the likes of entrepreneurs as Nana, she is much more concerned about how these funds will be rolled out and how they will be disbursed to ensure that each and every entrepreneur in the country reaps the benefit from this budget statement. I'm Charles Aite reporting for Joy Business. Meanwhile, the chief executive of the Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, Sharif Gali, says he is not enthused about the new initiative targeted at youth-led businesses. He has admonished governments to focus on its energies on implementing already existing initiatives towards supporting young entrepreneurs.
In as much as they are laudable ideas, I would want to say that this is not something I am too elated about or too happy about. And I have my reasons for saying this. It is not always about the numbers. It is not always about how some shows or big it looks like. The most important thing is the how. We've heard about 1 million jobs, not today. So I am not too elated. Why am I saying this? We will need to really look at what exactly. Is it always that we come to talk about numbers, but not how it's supposed to be done? We know that the Youth Employment Agency had a mandate to create jobs. We know that NEP is supporting young entrepreneurs with funding. The GEA, Ghana Enterprise Agency, is doing this. The National Youth Authority. Now, when you have these fragmented promises, so it is good to target to create 1 million jobs. But the most important thing is that what of those that we tried with, are they working?
And the discussion continues, but that's how we end the first edition of Business. With me, Charles Aite. Sport is up next. You stay.
Many thanks for staying with us. Time to bring you sports. My name is Hans Mensa, and on our swimmer, Abeku Jackson was not quite able to make it to the semi-final of the men's 100-meter butterfly, despite winning certainly hard on Abeku Jackson. But lots of positives in there for him, not least able to break his personal best in that swim. Let's do some football. And head coach of Accra Great Olympics, Arnold Walker, is determined to boost the squad for next season's Ghana Premier League. The Dade boys were in the top 4 of the league before running out of steam towards the end of the season, which saw them eventually end in 6th place. Coach Walker expects a much better Olympic squad next season.
If I should stay with Olympics, definitely I'm bringing on board players that you see and you'll be happy again.
What are some of the positions you want to strengthen?
My central defense is number 1, very, very important. And my 2 keepers are out. You know,
yes,
Said is out, Abe is out. So I'm left with only 2 keepers. So, and as for Abe, he will be out for so long. So if I should get him at all and the season starts, then I should get him in the 2nd round. So I need at least 2 keepers for now till maybe they are back. So that, then my central defense, as at now, I would say, you can see, and you've been watching the match, I have to plan of bringing, I have only Jamai and Sechere. Sometimes when I want to do some change, I'll bring in Danso. Sometimes I'll bring in Amza. But I need complete central defenders who will play the position as central defenders. Besides, maybe I want to strengthen my striking role as well. My striking, you know, I have only Maswell, Kwe, and Manab, Mudasiru, then Yakubu. But Yakubu was, when he came, he was a bit rusty. You know, when he came from outside, he sat down for long. So before he could peak and come, the season was getting to an end. So it's like he played only 3-4 matches, which is not good. But he's an experienced player that if he should be informed, then it would have helped. So definitely, as I'm talking to you, I will need 2 clinical finishers that will also help.
A bronze boxing promotion is set to stage a WHO Africa featherweight bout between Ghanaian boxer John Lai and Namibian Sebastinos Nathaniel on the 30th of July at the Bukom Boxing Arena. Samuel Inimadu, who is the organizer, has been speaking about the essence of organizing such events in the country.
Ghana is going to tell the whole world that Ghana, the next featherweight champion to come to the world, is coming. And this is the first stage for him as he's going to battle the champion, the reigning champion, Sebastian Nathaniel from Namibia. So, to give you some few details, you know we are having a serious problem when it comes to COVID, which is a natural issue that no one can do anything about. The Almighty God is the only one who can tell us what it is. So we must all, and I'm happy you can see everybody is adhering to the COVID protocols. And let's remember, at the venue, the protocols will be strictly observed, and everyone is supposed to follow that because we don't want to have issues with government and authorities. And the next thing I can tell you is that you are going to have a very good show at the Bukom Boxing Arena. We are doing this. This bout is Bronze Boxing Promotions and Bukom Fist of Fury doing this bout. You have bouts on the bill that are also part of the Fist of Fury series that has been happening in this country, which is Mr. Moses Fuamene is leading the team, and GBA is also part of the Fist of Fury, and other boxing authorities in the country are also part of the Fist of Fury project. So you can see great undercards. That is all part of the Fist of Fury bouts on the bill on that day. That is Friday at the Bukom Boxing Arena. To tell you a little about the tickets, we have the popular stand where I would love to be, 20 Ghana cedis. The ringside, 100 Ghana cedis. The VIP, 50 Ghana cedis. And then a special table for some corporate organizations who are supporting this project, GMPC, ADB, GOIL, other organizations supporting Paradise Park, which is also being supported, coming from Asamoah himself. It's going to be a wonderful night.
That's it for this installment. More sports later in the bulletin.
And of course, once that montage plays, you know that Becky is here with the latest in the world of showbiz. Hello, Becky.
Hello to you.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Great. What do you have for us today?
We have something from the DJs Union of Ghana.
Okay.
They have signed
They've been making a lot of noise on social media.
Yes, so they've officially signed an MOU with the Musica, which is, you know, so this move, according to them, would, you know, propel an effective way of doing things between DJs and musicians here in Ghana. So we spoke to the founder of the Ghana's DJ Union, Mercury Quay.
Turn up,
and also Bessa Simons, who happens to be, you know, the chairman right now for Musica, also spoke.
Going to achieve, you know, a great deal of development. It's going to achieve a great deal of amelioration. You know, you agree, as you said. We have been working, you know, from different quarters over the years. Since I grew up, I mean, there have been musicians on one side, DJs on the other side. At one point, you have DJs complain about musicians. At the other time, you have musicians complain about DJs. But there haven't been that formal, you know, approach to what we do. And this is the first time this gets to happen in Africa. You know, so it tells you that the future is really bright. It tells you that our music is going to be fortified. It tells you that with unity, we are going to be able to cross over with the content that we have. You know, so we get the rest of Africa to hear, and we get the rest of the world to hear, because unity is a driving force in development. So that's exactly what this brings. So we're working together, and you know, some of the things that we're going to immediately start. You see, education is everything. You know, if you have people who are not educated, you could make all the efforts you want to make. They say fix the country. But if the people are not educated to understand that if you eat or if you drink pure water, don't throw it about, the system will be the same. So it is education. So we are starting with education. We want to sensitize. We want to empower members so they understand what they are doing. So Musica and Juga are going to jointly do that.
We know coming together is going to benefit musicians in Ghana, members of Musica, and also the two unions, Musica and Juga. So today, that is what we've gathered to do. And I hope at the end of the day, after this memorandum MOU is signed, is going to bring a lot of good working order for both Juga and Musica, because, we've never had any meeting. We've been on our own for such a long time. And we all both realize that coming together is going to help us a lot. This time, you will know what we do, we will know what you do.
Great move there, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's a great move there, yeah. My side.
And I hear they are in the Western region, or Western North, I think, this weekend with a health walk as part of the awareness.
Yes.
So great job there, Mercury Quay, and to the rest of the team.
With the rest of the team. Let's talk about Moesha. So her family has released a statement asking the public to stay, just, let them be, let Moesha be, give her a break, because, I mean, she's gone through a lot. She's trying to find herself. So let me quickly read part of the statement. So, quote, everybody has a past, a present, and a future. We have all lived lives that, depending on the friends or people around you, can positively or negatively influence your life. Some have lived high lives and others have lived practical lives. A statement dated July 27, 2020.
There's a part of the statement as well that I think is very important. It says that we believe Moesha has the right to a new beginning in Christ and a chance to make right her life. We are pleading with all persons to please allow her time from gossip, bad-mouthing, social media bickering, and negative talk to find herself. We support the decision she's taking and will support her in any positive way to help her find her real self. So essentially, the family is saying, give us a break.
Give us a break.
Allow her to find herself.
And as I also think that's, well, as the media house, we will give them a break, but obviously when we have any information that
anything newsworthy.
Anything newsworthy, we'll bring it to them. Let's move away from Moesha. Let's talk about a cake.
Okay.
A 40-year-old piece of cake.
Wedding cake.
Wedding cake, and it's up for auctioning.
But who keeps a wedding cake for 40 years?
David, if you have the picture of the wedding cake, that's the cake that's up for.
Oh, that looks royal.
So 40 years after Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer fairy tale wedding, a slice of the wedding cake is going up for auction. A large slice of cake icing and marzipan based from one of the 23 official wedding cakes features a sugared only of the royal coat of arms colored in gold, red, blue, and silver. So it is expected, NS, to fetch between 300 and 500 pounds when it goes under the hammer along.
Oh, 500 pounds?
Yes.
That's a slice of it.
Yeah, it's just a slice of it.
So that should be like 3,500? 500-ish. Thereabouts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
After the pandemic, we're getting married, right? So we can get a bit of that into the cake.
We're both getting married, or
yes,
finding my own husband, you're finding your own wife.
There's going to be a wedding, that's all I know.
Okay. All right. So
we can look at
I think we
buying this
one,
as part of the whole piece.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, me too.
But 40 years, hey.
It's been the whole 40 years. I hope that, who else had the royal wedding here?
You mean in the UK or in Ghana?
Here in Ghana. Maybe they're keeping the cake for auction or something like that. I don't know.
We can ask, What's his name? Despite Son.
Despite Son.
That was one of the biggest weddings.
I'm not too sure if they are keeping the cake.
All right, Becky. Thank you very much for bringing us Showbiz. And that's it for Showbiz. We have more after this break. Stay with us. Now, if you're yet to eat dinner, you may have to take a pause because this story is about pan latrines. An illegal pan latrine operating as a public toilet at Old Fadama has been demolished by a joint task force of the AMA officials and the Ghana Police Service. The demolition was under the auspices of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign task force, which seeks to enforce sanitation bylaws that ban the use of pan latrines as far back as 2010. Now, the task force moved in after several failed attempts to get the operators of the outlawed public toilets to upgrade. Manuel Cranton was with the campaign team and our reports.
We're somewhere around the Agbogloshi market and Old Fadama, as it is called. Madam Florence Kuchi, of course, I'm leading the team for today's exercise.
We are in the 21st century, but it will interest you to know that people are still using pan latrines for public toilets.
Well, describe to us this pan latrine. What are they?
So pan latrine is a latrine that people defecate inside a bucket. Okay. And when it's full, somebody have to remove it and send it to a place to dispose of. Who carries this thing? Where does the person send it to? All these things are questions we are supposed to answer. And
this is in Accra.
And this is in Accra. We knew very well that by 2010, there was a law passed that nobody should use pan latrine within Accra settings. But still, people are still using pan latrines within Accra settings. And it has been very, very difficult to do away with them. That is why we need this police security to help us do away with these pan latrines within the system.
So this is one of the pan latrines that we are going to access, the very first one on the stretch.
Yes, so information has been given to them already that we are coming. So the people have already absconded and left the place. We are not going to allow you to be here. Since they have left the place, we will bring down the place. When we are bringing it down, we will know who the owner is.
Does their absence not give any indication that it's already being abandoned? Of course, it's not in use.
It's not in abandoned because the fan is even on. Okay. You see, they did not. If they are deaf, but this fan will not be on. It means somebody just told them that we are here and they have to leave the place. Always when we come, that is what they do. You leave whatever you leave and go, and then they will come back and continue again. This time around, we are not people.
There are people
inside, so you can just see people inside using the place.
Okay. And so,
actually, me, I'm not even leaving this area. I'm passing what I feel salty, so I decide to enter.
Okay. But how is the place like, the conditions? What's your assessment of the place?
Actually, it's not all that good, man, but it's not bad too.
Now you feel okay?
I feel okay. I can live all right.
You can live all right. Okay. This is it. God is love, a public toilet, which exudes absolutely no love from God. Here today.
Are you aware that you are not supposed to operate a pan latrine?
No.
You are not aware?
Yes.
Who carries the pan latrine when it's full?
I don't know.
So where is your sister?
My sister go now.
Your sister go now. So
yes.
Today who is selling here?
I see somebody there. I hear that the TV there is where they come to remove the TV.
You hear that the things there. Who was inside? Because the fan is on. Who was inside?
I don't know. I say, now
Master, if you don't tell the truth, we'll arrest you right now.
I say, be here now. I hear that they have broken this, and I know that the TV there inside. So I'm coming to remove the TV.
You came here to talk to somebody?
You came here to talk to somebody?
Yes, I asked them. So when I came, I said they are coming to. They also has here that they have broken.
We want to see the person who was inside here before. If you don't,
that one they will talk
then
to.
You don't have the right to take anything from there. We don't know you. If you can't bring somebody who was working there, you have no right to go in there.
It's been torn down. I could just get a bit closer and describe to you what happened. So you are seeing the pans down there, and these are huge bowls that people access when they sit up there, they squat up there. there are perforations in the wooden pallets that are on top there. That's the, excrement goes through the perforations into the bowl. Now, several people, close to 50 people, are allowed to use it. And then when the bowl is filled to capacity, a human being, of course, comes to carry it and then discharge it into the lagoon.
But if something like this is coming on, then they should alert them earlier on so that they can change from this structure to the modern.
Because we're open flies in the course. Hey! Oh wow! Let me a mouth bankuning kruma.
Oba ojimi jinde crop to do animal me see me 300 but didn't nyina na we say nyame hwe o de
no de nyame na hwem enye EMA na
enye obia o enye bia na government bia na hwe serious nyankopon na hwe
yeti hasie no enye yesu yepe yesu enya kwa ka tra islego mi kandada o yesu enya department sabia enye obi na be ka ho na mpe yi.
But someone I'm not share lagoon bola bebre. Indeed, he accepts and admits that this particular structure, in its shape and form and our operation currently, is not what it's supposed to be. However, it makes a point again that the AMA, by extension, government should find alternatives, workable alternatives for them, as they are the ones who are going to suffer the most by the exacting of this particular exercise. I've spoken to some of the people who say,
you wouldn't mind, we can just have a look. Have you seen this tank?
Okay, we could go there.
It's not even up to 150 meters.
Yeah.
So what is he saying, that there's no alternative unless they go to Bimbla station? And there are even more inside, you understand? That's just around this enclave alone. We have more than 5 standard toilets around this lake. And we can take you to all of them.
So that's the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. If you're still using pan latrines, beware, we may be next in your area. Now, the General Legal Council Disciplinary Committee has slapped legal practitioner Kwesi Efrifa with 9 charges for misconduct. This comes after the GLC's preliminary inquiry concluded that a case of misconduct has been established against him at first impression. Now, Mr. Efrifa was reported to the General Legal Council by his client, Ojidum Brenu Kwesi Atta VI, who sought the assistance to retrieve some $75,000 from him. My colleague Joseph Akablay joins me on the phone with details of the GLC statement. Joseph, before we move into the statement, give us a background to this story and why it's become so important.
Story that we've been telling for a while is the fact that this particular lawyer represented one Ojedom Obrane Kwesi Atta, who is a traditional ruler in the central region. And in the course of representing him, the client, that is the chief, claims that this lawyer had told him that he should make some available, some $100,000, which he was going to use for ways and means, which would ensure that he secures a favorable judgment for him. And so we are told, according to the chief, that he made the money available. And after a while, when he realized that the lawyer was not going about doing the ways and means, he decided to ask for a refund of his money. So he had been able to collect $25,000 of that amount. And what remains outstanding is what took him to the GLC, asking that the GLC helps him to retrieve that amount of money. Now, the lawyer, in responding to the complaint at the General Legal Council, now levels an allegation at the Chief Justice that his client actually told him that it was the Chief Justice, Kwesi Yeboah, who had asked for an amount of $5 million in order to deliver a favorable judgment for his client. And we know that the Chief Justice has since denied the allegations. The police CID is probing the matter. Another aspect of it is before the presidency by way of a petition seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. Now, you recall that a couple of weeks back, the General Legal Council held its first meeting on the matter, and the council said after its disciplinary committee had met on that particular day and an assessment, and after it had heard from Mr. Efrifa, the conclusion it came to is that on first impression, a case of misconduct has been made against him. And so they slapped him with 9 charges. And I'll just run you through some of these charges.
Very well.
One is that he failed to protect the sanctity and integrity of the legal profession by failing to disclose the allegation of bribery against the Chief Justice to the Disciplinary Committee of the Judicial Council or any other statutory body for an inquiry. The second one is the fact that he failed to issue receipts to his client following the payment of legal fees. And the next one is that he facilitated the commission of the alleged bribery offense by refunding the fees he was legally paid and duly entitled to. And another one here says that he made a reckless statement suggesting judicial manipulation by the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. And so these are some of the charges that have been leveled against him.
And so all 9 charges are actually charges of misconduct, but pertaining to the rules of the General Legal Council.
That is so. And I mean, the point that needs to be made is that the council is the regulatory body. It provides regulatory oversight. So you hear often that they've disbarred a certain lawyer for a certain number of years, among other things. And so that is how they are going about this particular matter. And it relates to the rules and ethics that they expect a lawyer to stick to in accordance with the Legal and Professions Act.
And so this is a prima facie case that has been made. It is expected that he would respond and then he will go through the process. Is that what will happen?
And so there will be a response that he will file to the official charges that have been leveled against him. And then they will, if they are minded to go by the normal process of hearing evidence and listening to witnesses and cross-examination and all that, then afterwards they will come to a conclusion as to whether he's guilty of the allegations of misconduct that they have determined prima facie that they could establish against him. And once they come to whatever conclusion they come, if there are sanctions to be imposed on those sanctions, they will indicate that as well.
And Joseph, this process is independent of what ASEPA has done by way of petitioning the president for the removal of the Chief Justice because of this claim and the CID's own investigation into this matter because of the CJ's petition to them.
Absolutely. And don't forget, there's also another aspect of it as trust.
Okay.
Related to the Chief Justice as well. And so they are just 3 different processes that are ongoing. And it's worth stating that at this particular level, the Chief Justice is actually not a party to it. But this is strictly between a lawyer and his client. And the client went there because he says, I want $75,000 back from you. And so that is what they are looking at in terms of the Legal Professions Act and the conduct of the lawyer in relation to his client, whether he misconducted himself by the allegations that have been leveled and the prima facie determination made accordingly.
Court correspondent Joseph Akabladen helping us understand the latest developments as far as the allegations leveled against the Chief Justice, but specifically on the petition sent against lawyer Frifa. We'll be following this and we'll bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. Now, human rights group Amnesty International and the Human Rights Advocacy Center are calling for the protection for LGBTQ plus persons living in the country. Now, they are also urging authorities to investigate harassment and attacks against human rights defenders, especially the LGBTQ plus advocate. Director for Amnesty International Ghana, Frank Kweku-Doi, says although his organization does not promote the activities of lesbians and gays, their right must be respected. His comments come on the back of anti-homosexuality bill before Parliament, which amongst others prescribes jail term of up to 10 years for persons who engage in the promotion of homosexuality.
Amnesty International Ghana therefore urges authorities in Ghana to ensure that hate speech and threats against perceived people in the LGBT community and those defending their fundamental human rights guaranteed by Article 21 of the 1992 Constitution are thoroughly investigated and those responsible are brought to justice. Ghanaian authorities must investigate harassment, intimidation, unlawful surveillance, physical attacks, and criminalization of human rights defenders, particularly those facing multiple and intersecting forms of discrimination. Perpetrators must be brought to justice whether they are state or non-state actors, and victims must be provided with effective remedies. Amnesty International Ghana, the chairman, urges authorities in Ghana to ensure that all human rights defenders, including those who work for organizations protecting LGBTI people, can operate in a safe and enabling environment. It's important for us to clarify this point as provided in international law which Ghana has ratified, that our Constitution, Article 21, provides for the enjoyment of fundamental human rights of all Ghanaians without discrimination.
The Executive Director of the Human Rights Advocacy Center, Selassie Abna Ahima Chega, is calling for the protection of the LGBTQ plus persons.
During the Universal Periodic Review by the Human Rights Council held in 2017, Ghana committed to 1. Take the steps necessary to protect lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex persons from violence and discrimination on the basis of their sexual orientation and gender identity. 2. To ensure that victims of discrimination and violence based on sexual orientation and gender identity have access to rehabilitation and remedy, and that all perpetrators are punished. 3. Take measures to fight against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. However, we find that there are still instances of gross human rights abuses against members of that community, and the perpetrators go unpunished. It is our recommendation that though the Constitution empowers Parliament to make laws that protect our society and its public interest, these laws must absolutely be made in compliance with the Constitution and in conformity with the above commitments and all other international conventions that the state is a party to. The state should ensure the full protection of the fundamental human rights of members of the LGBTQ plus community and prosecute perpetrators of such violations. As the Executive Director of Amnesty International Ghana said, the issue is fundamental human rights and the protection of the rights of every person in this nation, and that is what we are advocating for.
Now let's do some stories on education. For 4 years, a school building sat idle while students of Osu Presby Boys studied in a dilapidated structure. After a long wait, students of the Osu Presby Boys School have finally been relocated to the new structure. The students could not hide the excitement. My colleague Judith Awatritando, who followed up on this story from the onset, visited the school and now reports.
Avoiding cheating, yes.
This is how teaching and learning should look like. For 4 good years, this building sat idle while students slumped in a dilapidated school structure. The story is different now.
Well, you can see for yourself, these students are no longer scorched by the sun. Initially, these boys of those who Presby cluster of schools would have to remove their shirts in order to fan themselves as a result of the excessive heat in their previous dilapidated structure. But now things have changed. After constant reportage on the bad nature of their school, these boys have finally been moved into a fully furnished structure.
When we were there, the sun was coming into our class, then we have heat, no fresh air. So by now when we came here, we have fresh air, we have fans and lights in our class, and we have beautiful washrooms and all those things. When we were there, when there was no social distancing, we were afraid. We were afraid because of the COVID. Maybe someone has it in the class, then it will affect all of us. So we were afraid, but now when we're here, when there was social distancing, we don't have any problem again.
When we were there, some of us, the uniform we wear, the decks always tear the butt of our uniform. But when we are here, we have new decks, and the decks that we have one single. So one person sits on single deck, so we have space on the other decks too.
Actually, the thing is, because of the potholes, if you are walking, you could have fallen down, so that doesn't make some of the people to pay attention. But now that we are here, when we are learning, everyone pays direct attention to the teacher and what he's saying.
Not only do students share in this joy, teachers as well. Madam Lydia Ochre is head mistress of the Osu Presby Boys School.
From the other side, life wasn't easy there. Classes were going on though, but teachers and pupils were not feeling comfortable at all. The heat, the dust, and all other things were not actually helping us. But when we moved here, by the grace of God, we are having a very nice place. Lessons are ongoing. Learners are also enjoying.
The Koliklote Youth Alliance has also been pushing for the relocation of the students for a while now. The new development has indeed brought great excitement to them. Niotin Krayankra is executive director of the group.
We're very much excited that our efforts has not been in vain. We've pushed for it, and today the kids are learning in a very conducive atmosphere. This is all we're all fighting for in Koliklote. Our alliance is basically to shape up the constituency or the community to have everything easy for them. And today you can see when you went around, they were all excited. This morning they were happy for their break. They were happy in the classroom. They've had new chairs. They've had everything. So we'll say, well, I thank everybody that puts in their efforts, especially the municipal chief executive.
Although students of the Osu Presby Boys School have been moved into the new building, other students within the cluster still remain in the previous structure. Municipal Chief Executive for the Koliklote Municipality, Ni Ejeteria, who spearheaded the movement, however told Joy News that more work needed to be done, like the provision of potable water.
Because there was no water and also at the point no electricity, all these things need to be sorted. And that is what we have done now. So now, once the concrete platform is matured enough for the water to sit on, and I believe that is sometime next week. All the children can move into the school now.
Well, some officials and beneficiaries of the new structure had something to say to Joy News.
We are grateful to Joy News. We even saw the pictures you took the other time, and I was shocked. I said, wow, how can a lady climb up a car for our sake? Yes, we are grateful to you. We hope that you continue to do this good work to help all those who are in need.
Indeed, there's a lot to smile and scream about. Judith Chitando, Joy News.
This is Joy News Prime. My name is Ernest Minu. We're taking a break. We have more sports and business for you. Don't go away.
You're welcome to business. Now, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has kept all the macroeconomic targets set in the 2021 budget. In his presentation to Parliament, he announced new measures to deal with revenue shortfalls, and there is more on this in this report.
The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, in his presentation, gave details of some new initiatives aimed at improving revenue mobilization in the country.
Government is aware of the critical importance of additional revenue to finance all these initiatives that underpin our recovery and transformation agenda. Indeed, we are committed to raising our tax to GDP from the current 14% to 20% as our peers in the sub-region. The Ghana Revenue Authority is therefore implementing a transformation agenda to block the huge leakages in key sectors of the economy. This transformation agenda has the remit to identify and prevent revenue leakages whilst reinforcing the culture of compliance nationwide. A formal launch of this initiative is scheduled for Monday, 2nd August 2021.
The minister also announced a new program aimed at dealing with home ownership challenge in the country.
In support of government's agenda to provide sustainable and completed affordable housing, we are providing funds to the National Home Ownership Fund. This fund, to be matched by participating financial institutions, will provide low blended mortgage interest rates of between 11 to 12%, as compared to the current market rates between 25 to 26%. Through this intervention, which builds upon and expands the pilot project implemented last year, our quest to promote residential home ownership while boosting the domestic construction sector to provide more jobs is on course.
Mr. Oforiatta insisted that the Ghana Cares program holds the key in transforming the economy.
We are also pursuing the Obatampa Youth Entrepreneurship Drive, Ghana Skills and Entrepreneurship Development Project, Student Entrepreneurship Initiative, the Youth in Community Improvement Model, and the Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program as direct interventions in targeted sectors to help our youth live decent lives and contribute to nation building.
The minister concluded the presentation requesting the needed support from all parties in helping rebuild the economy.
There is mixed reaction from members of parliament on the mid-year review presentation by the finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta and the decision not to request for additional funds for government business. While the majority welcomes the move, members of the minority think otherwise. Here's a wrap on reactions by members of parliament.
This is the first time in a while that government has decided to abstain from reviewing its tax policies and requesting additional funds in the budget review for the year. According to the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, all economic targets are on track, hence no need for a review.
The Ghana Incentive States and Risk Sharing Scheme for Agriculture and PSL, Ghana Commodity Exchange DCS, Venture Capital Trust Fund, and the Restructured Ghana Enterprise Agency, formerly NDSSI. To anchor a new age of entrepreneurship, job creation, and wealth building for our post-COVID transformation.
The minister also hinted of an aggressive policy under the Ghana Cares Obatampa program to create about 1 million jobs. Deputy Minority Leader James Kluche Aveji describes the policy as an empty one since government has failed to complete most of its employment initiatives.
I'm not asking for additional funding. Where's the budget for it? Which area are you going to cut? Which is not even in the budget. That I'm cutting expenditure from expenditure A, then I'll use that one to provide 1 million jobs for the youth. It is not going to happen. It won't happen. There is no budget for it.
You keep saying they have a track record.
I'm saying that there is no budget for the 1 million you want to employ, you want to generate. So for that matter, it will not happen. Let me excuse me to say it's a lie.
Chairman of the Finance Committee, Kweku Kwating, however, disagrees.
You do not need to ask for additional money in order to create jobs. In fact, jobs created as a result of government using the taxpayers' money to create opportunities to pay people are not necessarily jobs in the true sense. As soon as you begin to manage the fiscals right, so that the macroeconomic indicators look good, and investors can see that going forward the economy would pick up, the private sector invests and creates the jobs.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Abu Jinapo, on his part, said the job creation agenda of government will be manifested through economic growth.
That we are going to launch the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program, a program which seeks to provide employment to illegal miners who are falling out of the cracks. We are going to reclaim the lands as well. We are going to engage in reforestation. We're going to have agricultural, we're going to have agro-processing, we're going to have apprenticeship, we're going to enhance community mining, we're going to have mine support services.
The media presentation was used by the minister to update the House on the performance of government in the first half of the year.
That'll be all for the media budget presentation. We will leave you with a summary of international business news.
Many thanks for staying with us. Time to bring you sports. My name is Hans Mensah. Wafa finished third in the just-ended Ghana Premier League campaign despite their impressive season. Head coach of the side, Prosper Nate Ogum, says the departure of their talisman Daniel Omote, who scored 8 goals before joining Tunisian side AS Suleiman, had an effect on them. He was speaking to my colleague George Adu Jr.
Affected my program because if you look at the way he was playing, Lumote is a mature guy, and he's been to the Black Stars, and he's gotten the experience, he's gotten the exposure, so he brought some sort of balance and stability into the team. His sense of vision and positional awareness in front of goal was just fantastic. He could score from anywhere at training grounds, and I made him believe that he could be one of the best strikers in the league. So he was actually peaking. I wouldn't say he peaked before he left, but he was in the process of peaking. And then the offer came. And Wafa, per his age and per one of the philosophies of Wafa, where we don't keep players for that long, when the offer came, we thought it's good for him to go. But then tactically, in terms of my team structure and organization, it affected me very well because but then to Eric Asamani, who is the other marksman, got injured when we went to 11 Wonders, so he was out. So basically, we didn't have an outright marksman to play for us. That was where we resorted to the likes of Andrewson team, who is a defender, to play as a marksman. Can you believe this? A defender playing as a marksman. He was also doing well. Yeah, that actually taught me a lesson of trying to explore, trying to see where I could fix some players in here or there. So in terms of my team structure and organization, as I said earlier on, it affected the team and myself. But it was also good for the young man to go because he was aging and needed to have that outside experience or foreign experience. So I had nothing to do but to accept. In fact, when I was going there, when I was appointed, I was told, and when even I wasn't appointed, I also knew that Wafa doesn't keep players for that long. Once you are able to showcase your talent and the offers come in, definitely they will give you the opportunity to go. So I remember that was one of the main things that the managing director told me when he met me.
Prosper Nate Ogumde in that interview with my colleague George Adu Jr. And you can catch the full interview on Fun Zone later at 10:30 p.m. here on the Joy News channel. Now to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and we've so far been served with some thrilling moments with countries like China, the United States, Japan, and Russia all competing to win the medal chart. Here is, of course, you can read the very latest from the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games at myjoyonline.com/sport. I am Hans Mensah, and many thanks for your time.
And that's our show for tonight. Many thanks for your company. You'll find a lot of stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Ernest Mino. Up next is the business edition of PM Express.